Hey guys, welcome back. I've already started on this somewhat. Today I'm going to go ahead and make it another step farther. I'm going to be working on making a cutting board, a very different cutting board. Something I haven't quite done before in the past. It's going to be 3 layers. This here, I think it's black walnut, okay? I don't know, I'm not very good at identifying wood. I think this is black walnut. I know that this is cedar. This will be the bottom layer. And then I'm going to go through and in between put this barnwood. Now I'm going to go ahead and plane this down so that it'll be smooth wood. It's not going to be this rough. And it's going to be nothing but dowels. That's going to be another trick. Something I've never done before with doing just dowels. You're not going to be using any brad, so dowels is all it's going to be. Now, another deal I'm going to end up doing is whenever I made some bowls a while back, I got the blanks, the pieces off of those to the corners. And I got those glued and doweled together, and then stacking it like this, have dowels in between, and this will be cut down to fit the ends of the board. And with details and everything. But I gotta finish this up in order for it to look right. So I gotta process these and go ahead and get these cut down. What I'm wanting to go ahead and do is go ahead and get these doweled and glued together. I gotta true up the ends at least because they're a little bit off. I gotta true these up. Go ahead and get them doweled, get them clamped, and let them sit. So let's go ahead and move on to that. Alright, those are sitting, waiting to dry, and I still got to do some trimming up on them and everything, of course, true them up, but that'll have to come after I get done with these, getting this all glued together and trimmed up so that way I know my thickness, so I can make those the right size. Now I need to go ahead and get these cut down and go ahead and ran through the planer so I can go ahead and get these glued together tonight. Alright, so now glue up of this lower one. This is going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be a lot of glue. Until finally, you know what? I think what I want to do is just do one at a time. Yeah, I know this particular one here blew out. I want to match it up with this end. Because I'm planning on cutting it a little bit off here. That way, I ain't losing any more than what I need to. Now, you can kind of see how it's going to turn out. I'm going to have 3 stack. And I have to start chewing stuff up after this, but come tomorrow, I'm going to drill this out and run more dowels through and go ahead and cut them off and everything. I'll end up, because what I'm wanting to do, the reason why I'm wanting to do this is because I want to run at least one through each one of these boards all the way down here on all of them. So that way the boards have a better chance of staying in place than not. So that way, after I get this all trued up and everything, get cut, then I'll drill for all these. I'll probably do somewhat of a pattern. There's at least going to be 4 in each end, plus 4 in the middle at least. So, but I also got to keep room somehow. Man, the freaking mosquitoes are thick out here. But I got to leave room for dowels to go in this way. I got everything out of the clamps. Everything seems to be holding together pretty well. I of course got to start truing up these edges, making them all clean and getting it cut down to size. I got these out of the clamps as well. I got to trim these up, and I didn't realize it, but I goofed up. I was wanting these dowels to be going the same direction, and as you can see, I'm missing the 2 on this one because they're right there. I think I got a fix for that, and that's just simply drilling out and just dropping in a piece and then just cutting it off. It'd just be cosmetic, but do that on all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and get these cut down and go ahead and get the board cut down as well, get trimmed up and cleaned, and go ahead and getting these sized up for where I need them. So let's go ahead and get to it. Don't know where that went though. So, learn from that. Be careful while operating this stuff. I came out unscathed and I finally found the remnants. So yeah, here. And yes, this brad was from previous deal. So this thing just blew up. Wow. All right, well, this changes some things. As I was pushing this through, something happened just so, and it sent it down through my zero clearance I just freaking put on here like a week or 2 ago. Sent it straight through it. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what it caught. I don't know. But it sent it straight down below. There's a piece of it there. So that was close. Yeah. That was the scariest thing I've had happen so far. I'm glad I didn't get hurt. Man, my thumb's a little sore, but that was from this kicking. I felt it kick down like that as I was pushing it through, so I don't know. Alright, well, I'm going to at least finish getting this cut down to size of where I want it. I might try to use this one at the end and try to do something with this, but after that, I don't know now. So, let's just see what happens. Alright, figured out what I'm going to do. So I was able to trim this one down to where it'll fit. Now, I had a larger piece come off of that I'm going to use. And I'm going to put this on the opposing side the opposite direction of what this one is. That's what I'm gonna do and show. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get these glued on. Go ahead and clamp them for a little while, let the glue dry, and then go ahead and run some dowels in it. But I also need to go ahead and also do these dowels too, so I don't know yet. Man, it is hot and muggy, and I ain't got, my shop is not climate controlled, and as you can tell, is a cluster. I have not been able to get out here and clean for a while since my last project, so I'll go ahead and get these going. That way this can at least go ahead and get set up, and I'll do up dowels and everything here after a bit. So I'm going to get these glued on to the ends and then dowel them here after a bit. Got the clamps set up on here already. These all glued. I got these glued together, and I went ahead and threw some where I could access of the dowels. Go ahead and pass them through on both ends. I'm going to wait for the dowels for will be behind here, behind the clamps, and the ones that will pass through the board, so that I can just do it all at once, and that will be here after a bit. But then probably tomorrow, because I need to get inside, get cooled down. So remember, safety, 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 safety. I'm still a little bit spooked up about that, so just be careful, guys. Alright, so everything's doweled, glued, everything's dry and cut. Now on to the finish work. I'm going to go ahead and run some, go ahead and get rid of some of this glue that's on the surface. Then after I get done with that, I'm going to run it through my planer. Outside, it'll be outside. There's the planer, it's going to be, I'll end up pulling it outside. Noise issues, it echoes real bad in here. So I'm going to get it outside, plane it, get it down to where it's all the same thickness, and then I'm going to sand 60, 80, and 120 on this with my orbital sander. And oh wait, I'm going to also router the edges too to get those cleaned up real nice. Then I'm going to sand, and then go ahead and put some butcher's block on it. So I am ready to get this thing done. So using butcher's block conditioner. I know it's not exactly a butcher's block, but close enough. I use this stuff on my bowls too. And we'll have to reapply this, do multiple coats, because it'll dry up, of course, and on top is soaking in. Wow. So this came out. Yes, there's a mistake, but they are learned mistakes. And I think that little palm router is strictly going to be for rounding the edges and not doing that again until I get me a better router. So here I'm just kind of rubbing it on in. Came out real nice. It's double-sided. So you got this on one side, this one on the other, and this is supposed to be an A, first letter of my wife's name. Overall, this I think was a really cool board. It's about somewhere between 1.25 and 1.5 inches. I don't know the official thickness, but it's somewhere between 1.25 and 1.5 inches thick, and it probably weighs 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. It should have lasted her. I learned quite a bit on this, and most of it's been what not to do. And man, I did have a pretty daggone close call with the table saw. That was spooky. It's actually the closest call I've had in a very long while. So I'm not shook up about it at all, but it's just it was a close freaking call. Woke me up a little bit, but luckily I was able to save luckily I did save my old plate for the saw, because then I wouldn't have been able to continue on with this project. So luckily I was able to save luckily I saved it. So just remember, be freaking careful, because man, I got close to losing a finger, or at least a good chunk of it. And so I also need to need to figure out, I need to get new equipment or higher quality. I'm just like you guys. I'm working and I'm doing this in the evenings or on the weekends. So that's really only the free time I have. And I work during the day. The job I have just doesn't fund this real well. And so that's why I'm not able to get the tools I'm wanting and or needing. And because as you guys know, if you guys watch the channel much, I got the little ones I gotta take care of, and mama. So if you guys want to check out the social medias for the channel, they'll be linked down in the description. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the video verse, and we're doing James chapter 2 verses 1 through 7. It says, "My brothers and sisters, do not show favoritism as you hold on to the faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ. For if someone comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and dressed in fine clothes, and a poor person dressed in filthy clothes also comes in, if you look with favor on the one wearing the fine clothes and say, 'Sit here in a good place,' and yet you say to the poor person, 'Stand over there,' or 'Sit here on the floor by my footstool,' haven't you made distinctions among yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my dear brothers and sisters, didn't God choose the poor in this kingdom to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom that he has promised to those who love him? Yet you have dishonored the poor. Don't the rich oppress you and drag you into court? Don't they blaspheme the good name that was invoked over you?" And that was James chapter 2 verses 1 through 7. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope to see y'all in the next one.